Hi, my name's Helen and I'm from the Educational Psychology Service in Rochdale. Myself and my colleague Katie are recording a series of videos thinking about how you can use play to support the development and resilience of the children and young people in your care. Katie recorded the first one last week and that will be available on YouTube for you, thinking about how you can use your interactions to support children's resilience. And today we're going to be thinking about something called loose parts play. Now, before we move on to that, just a reminder that Rochdale Borough Council are working with a lot of different organisations in order to support you during this coronavirus pandemic. There's a web address on the screen if you want any more information about that. Also, another reminder that children will be finding the particular situation very difficult at the moment, and not to worry if your child is displaying different behaviours to the ones that you would usually expect, as many children will be finding this very difficult and showing us how they feel through their behaviour. A little recap, Katie gave you this quote last week. Play is about creating a world in which, for that moment, children are in control and can seek out uncertainty in order to triumph over it. Or, if not, no matter, it's only a game. Just a reminder that play is central to children's well-being and children's development, and it enables them to feel that they have some control in a world where sometimes they have very little control. Particularly at the moment, that is important because they're being told what they can do, what they can't do. They're not able to see their friends through, so play gives them the opportunity to have some control. A little bit more about why play is so important for children. Play can help children to make sense of and work through difficult and distressing aspects of their lives. So for the children that you care for, you might see them acting out particular things that they've been involved in prior to coming to your care. At present, you might hear a lot of talk about coronavirus within their play. And this is a way that children can make sense of what's happening. They can test out being different roles within that situation. They can also test out different endpoints to that situation to see how they feel and how they would react. Play helps children to be flexible in their thinking. So if something goes wrong, they can learn that's okay, and they can try something a different way without feeling that there's any judgment or experiencing any sense of failure. Like we spoke about before, children can feel that they have a sense of control over their world when they're able to play with items in the way that they choose to play. It can help them to feel connected to other people and to their community in a wider sense. Another really important part of play is that it can help children to experience a wide range of emotions and to practice how they feel and how they can respond to those emotions. So sometimes that could happen in a role play situation where children take on different roles and they experience how that character feels in that situation. Or it can be that they experience frustration or anger or excitement and exhilaration, and they practice how they can behave in that situation and what responses they get from other people, helping them to change and adapt depending on what's going on for them. Play can develop children's problem-solving skills, their perseverance, their imagination, and their creativity, as well as their communication skills. Play enables children to learn absolutely everything we want them to practice in that situation where they're having fun and they're enjoying themselves. It also helps children to develop relationships with other children and with adults. This is another quote that Katie and I both like. Adults have a desire for safety, order, and visibility. Children have a desire for disorder, cover, and loose materials. And I know that makes sense to me. I prefer things to be ordered and neat and sorted, but I know that the children I work with and my own children like to have things a bit messy and to be able to run around and do what they want with the materials they have. It's important to remember that we need to try not to impose what we need onto children's play and to let children play in the way that's best for them. A really good example is if you think about playgrounds. Often you've got lots of wonderful play equipment, but the children aren't playing on it. They're off in the woods climbing and making dens because they're using the natural world and changing it and adapting it to meet their own needs rather than playing in the way that adults have prescribed for them to use the play equipment. So loose parts play is a technical term which just means playing with stuff. Anything you can think of can be part of loose parts play. It's a really good way for children to play because there is no expected outcome. There's no goal that the child is trying to reach. There's nothing that we as adults have imposed that they could potentially fail at. They've not got a model to try and work towards to build. They can do what they want with the materials, explore them how they want, and push themselves. It's a safe way to challenge yourself through play. And again, particularly at this time where the coronavirus pandemic's going on, it can be a bit scary to risk trying something new. In loose parts play, children can push themselves, but nobody else knows what they're trying to do. So it really doesn't matter if they don't get there. They can adapt and they can learn how to change as they're involved in their play. Another little quote: what you give children to play with has a huge impact on their confidence to make choices and explore their own ideas. So we all want children to develop their own thinking skills and to feel that they can go and try new things. Loose parts play enables them to do that. So here are some pictures of examples of loose parts play. Some of the pictures are taken from some workshops we did around Dippy the dinosaur, and some are using materials, leaves and feathers and flowers that have been found outside. And then in the little baking tray, there's things that you might have at home, like beads and feathers, Play-Doh. Anything can be involved in loose parts play. It's also really good for all ages. So you tend to find younger children just do what they want. They will create piles of things. They will just group their treasures together and experience loads of fun moving parts around and just placing them in different places, like in the baking tray there. Older children often tend to like it a bit more ordered and structured, and that's the beauty of loose parts play. If an older child wants to create a pattern or some sort of mosaic, or they want to create an object or a thing, they can do that and continue to use their creativity and imagination with the same materials that a younger child might be using to move around or just enjoy the feel of and the engagement with. As an adult, this is about playing alongside the child, creating your own things, but also, as Katie talked about last week, not being directive, maybe commenting on what you can see the child doing and praising them for persevering or having a great idea or building in a way that you wouldn't have expected them to have done, and also to be there as a resource. If the child wants help, you are there to help them and support them, but not to guide them. So this is what we'd like you to try at home this week. If you could just collect stuff, anything you've got from around your home, and maybe create a loose parts play kit so that your materials are in one place and the kids can just pull out that tub. It'd be important not to include too much because children can sometimes feel overwhelmed. So if you identify quite a few bits, you might want to rotate them over days. Some children might just feel okay to have a go. Other children might need a bit more guidance and a bit more structure, in which case please feel free to provide that for them. And as we said before, continue to use the ideas from last week about being a play partner rather than teaching or leading the activity. There are a few examples of resources you might like to try using here. I won't read them all out, but they're there on the screen for you if you want to have a little look back later. Basically, anything you can find that is safe, inside or outside, that you think your child might find interesting or intriguing. And finally, if you've got any questions or queries, please contact us on that email address. If you've got any feedback, feel free to let us know as well. And then we will upload the next video next week. And just finally, another safeguarding reminder: if you have any concerns about a child or young person, here are the numbers and email addresses that you can call. We hope you have fun playing and look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you, bye.